Alright guys, today we're going to be doing things a little different. We're not doing no racing, unless you consider racing the clock racing. Today we're going to do some flying. We are here in the lovely Carenado Phenom 300 personal jet slash private jet. We're going to be flying into the southern tip of Alaska, right next to Canada. Roughly an hour and a half long flight. I'll probably break this up into two segments though, so this will be part one of two parts for this particular series. As mentioned before, this is the Carenado Phenom 300. I don't usually fly default aircraft. I just don't like the way they feel and handle and all that stuff. Today we're taking a load of 5 passengers and 2 pilots. 2 Papa Alpha Kilo Tango will be departing Seattle International at KSEA, and we'll be looking for a cruise altitude of 25,000 feet. You can see we're going to be leaving in a bit of foul weather. It's raining, it's cold, they've got snow in the forecast, so we'll probably take off with some anti-ice on, so that way we don't freeze up and crash and die, so we don't want to do that. Our arrival airport today has some pretty good weather though. Hopefully it stays that way. If it doesn't, we have an alternate airport, Papa Alpha Papa Golf, just north, so that'll be our alternate airport just in case we can't do a landing at our planned destination. The flight plan today, we're going to take off from Seattle. We're going to fly to the SEA VOR. Then we're going to follow Victor 495 to Yankee Yankee Juliet VOR. We'll then fly direct to Yankee Zulu Papa VOR, follow Victor 317 to the Bokma, B-O-K-M-A, intersection, and we should get vectors right before that or at that intersection to arrive at Papa Alpha Kilo Tango. Without delay here, let's get the airplane set up for start. We want to start down here. Want to push the oxygen switch to restore. I'm going to leave the batteries off for just a second. We're going to skip the 2 batteries there. We'll put generators on auto. Gen 1 and 2 is auto. Auto, crossfeed, auto. We'll run through the tests before takeoff. Let's magically make the yoke disappear. Pump 1 and 2, auto. Hydraulic switches, open. Arm the ELT. We'll have the belts, passenger signs, come on. ADS probes, auto. We're going to leave the heating off until the engines are started. Over here, pressurization mode, auto. We want both. We are not going to run the air conditioning or heat for sake of sound. I'm not sure how loud that'll be in the headphones there. So, with that being said, we can get the batteries on. Here comes some tests.
Terrain system test OK.
HTOS test OK.
Apparently, my coaster didn't want to stay on the desk. Instead, it wanted to stay on the bottom of the cup. Isn't that lovely? Alright, system checks are good. The first thing we need to do get the engines going so that we can put in our flight plan and we're not killing battery. But the very first thing we need to do, check Seattle ATIS.
Juliet 1720 Zulu. Wind 344 at 11. Visibility 12 inline rain. Sky conditions 700. Scattered. Ceiling 1000. Overcast. Temperature 2.1. Altimeter 2977. NDB. Runway 16 right in use. Landing and departing runway 34 right in. Runway 34 left. All aircraft read back short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Juliet. Seattle Airport information. Juliet 1720 Zulu. Wind 344 at 11. Visibility 12 inline rain.
Alright, and we have information. Juliet. Let's get our clearance.
Seattle, there is delivery. Embraer, Papa, Alpha, Mike, Bravo. IFR to Papa, Alpha, Kilo, Tango. Ready to copy.
Embraer, Papa, Alpha, Mike, Bravo. Is cleared to Papa, Alpha, Kilo, Tango. Airport is filed. Fly runway heading. Climb and maintain 6,000. Departure frequency is 120.1. Squawk 0301.
Embraer, Papa, Alpha, Mike, Bravo. Cleared to Papa, Alpha, Kilo, Tango. Airport as filed. Fly runway heading. Climb and maintain 6,000. Departure on 120.1. Squawk 0301.
Embraer, Alpha, Mike, Bravo. Readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.7 when ready to taxi.
Alright, so we got clearance. They want us to fly runway heading, which we'll set the runway heading when we get on the runway up to 6,000 feet. So, let's go ahead and get the engines running now that we've got clearance here. Ignition on auto. We'll start engine 2 first. Throttles are on idle. Parking brake is now set. Flaps, all that is on 0. Alrighty. Let's start her up. When engine 1 stabilizes, engine 2, I'm sorry, when engine 2 stabilizes, there we go. Alrighty. Forgot to turn on the nav lights. My bad. Hey guys, we're starting the jet here. Alright. Both engines are idle and stabilized. Alright, and they are reading the same, which, if I'm not mistaken, never happens in the real world, but we'll just roll with it today, won't we? Alright, taxi lights on, nav lights are on. Let's, while we're idling here, we're gonna check our fuel. Should be plenty of fuel for the flight there. We're gonna get the windshield heaters on. And that'll be it for now. About 14 degrees Celsius for the fuel temp. The outside air temperature is 2 degrees Celsius, so we're just above the freezing point. 0 degrees C is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, let's get our flight plan in here. We're going to be Little knob, departing KSEA. Alright. It's a short flight plan here. We're going to be flying Victor 495 to Yankee Juliet. Which is up in Canada. Alright. We're going to be looking for 25,000. Alright. And I'm going to be flying to Yankee Zulu Papa. Little knob. Yankee Zulu Papa. Okay. Into that. Again in Canada. And we're looking for 25,000 feet. After Yankee Zulu Papa, we're going to follow Victor 317 to Bakma. I think it's how you'd pronounce that. So B-O-K, M-A, Bakma. That's how I'd pronounce that. That's how we're going to pronounce it. If it's pronounced different, someone please tell me. We're looking for 25,000 feet. And finally, our arrival airport of Papa Alpha Kilo Tango. In Alaska. There she be. Now, for some reason, if I go back up to the top here, notice it got rid of our origin airport. If I go up to the top here and just put in KSEA again and enter that, it puts us on the active flight plan there. I don't know why it does that at all, but it does it. So actually I gotta add another one in here, SEA for the Seattle VOR. Let's see if this works. Yes, it did! Alright, so there's our flight plan. Let's activate. Yes. Okay. Get rid of the flight plan button here. And cool. Actually, what we're gonna do is activate this one here. Alright. SEA to Yankee Juliet. Get rid of that. One more thing to run through here. I like to set the map up so that track up is what we're looking for there. Get rid of that. So now it'll, wherever we're headed is where up on the map will be. Without further ado, let's tune to ground to get taxi clearance. Let's get this beast in the air.
Alpha Mike Bravo with Lima, ready to taxi IFR.
Embraer, Papa Alpha Mike Bravo, taxi to and hold short of runway 34, right, using taxiway Bravo. Contact tower 119.9er when ready.
Heard ya.
Taxi 2 and hold short runway 34, right, using taxiway Bravo. Embraer, Alpha Mike Bravo.
Alright. I'm gonna make a nice left-hand turn here. follow Bravo all the way to the runway. And we can lower a notch of flaps. We want to trim down a little bit. Well, actually it's technically trim up, but on the display down here, I don't know if you guys saw that, right down here, I can move the trim, move it up, down. I was moving it down, but we need about 7.7, 7.8 here. Okay. And let's get some wind display here. So if we had an airplane on final, which the other traffic is turned off, we would stop right here actually. This is the ILS markings. We wouldn't want to interfere with any other aircraft coming in, so that's where we would hold short if there was a plane on final. However, there's not, so we're going to continue on through. I'm going to get this jet up in the air and cruising as fast as she'll let us. Seattle, I've got great news. We're about ready to go. Okay. Passenger belts are on. Let's run through a couple tests here.
Stall. Stall.
Alrighty. Do that one more time. Ice conditions. Okay. All the lights on the switches are coming on. Alright.
Fire. Fire.
Excellent!
Fire. Fire.
Excellent. Got our fire switches here. So those lit up when we did the fire test. Just a test, ladies and gentlemen. Just a test. Tower! We're ready for takeoff, IFR.
Papa, Alpha Mike Bravo, ready to go. Runway 34, right, IFR to Papa, Alpha Kilo Tango. Embraer, Papa, Alpha Mike Bravo, cleared for takeoff. Runway 34, right.
Cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway
Alpha Mike
34,
Bravo.
right. Embraer, Papa, Alpha Mike Bravo.
Alright, so let's get on the runway here. We're going to line up with the center line. Apply max power. And hopefully get airborne before the end of the runway. That's the plan, you know. Get the plane up in the air. Just track this center line here. Once we're lined up with the center line, about yay, we can click this button and it'll lock the heading we need. So we've got our heading and altitude set in the autopilot for when we engage that for transitioning into cruise flight here. We're going to be looking for about 110 knots to rotate this aircraft. We got max power set, 80 knots. There's about V1, VR. We're going to tap the brakes, gear up. We have positive rate and indicated. Trimming the airplane down just a little bit. Flaps are going up.
Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo. Contact Seattle departure on 120.1. Going to 120.1. Embraer Alpha
We're going to
Mike
go from
Bravo.
max to takeoff thrust.
Seattle departure. Embraer Papa Alpha Mike Bravo is at 2,200. Climbing 6,000.
Embraer Alpha Alpha Mike Bravo. Seattle departure. Roger. Altimeter 2977. Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo. Turn left heading 165. Resume own navigation. Climb and maintain 6,000.
Turn left heading 165. Proceed on course. Climb and maintain 6,000. Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo.
She is currently tracking the speed I'm having her hold here, so I'm going to have to play with the
Embraer
throttles a
Alpha
little
Mike
bit.
Bravo. Contact Seattle Center on 128.5.
128.5 for Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo.
Above the cloud layers here. Seattle departure.
Embraer Papa Alpha Mike Bravo is at 5,700. Climbing 6,000.
Embraer Alpha Alpha Mike Bravo. Seattle departure. Roger. Altimeter 2979.
Alrighty.
Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo. Climb and maintain flight level 180.
Up to
Climb and maintain flight
18,000.
level 180. Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo.
A flight course, hold it.
Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo. Contact Seattle Center on 128.5.
128.5 for Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo.
Alright.
Embraer
Let it
Papa
track the
Alpha
speed
Mike
I've got
Bravo
set.
is
The
at
nose is going to drop a bit.
5,900. Climbing
It's
flight
going to
level
speed up the
180.
aircraft.
Embraer Papa Alpha Mike Bravo. Seattle Center, Roger. Altimeter 2978.
There she is. Tracking that speed I got set. So what we're going to do here is lower this to condition climb throttle. And the airplane is going to track the flight course that I have set. So what the airplane's trying to do, you can see it's speeding up a little bit. It's trying to capture that bug, they call them in aviation, to intercept where we need.
Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo. Turn left heading 345. Turn left heading 345. Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo.
Alright, going 345. Above the massive cloud layer. Apparently default air traffic control wanted us to swing around wide to turn around. Not sure why that is, but yeah. Now that we're approaching 18,000
Embraer
feet.
Alpha Mike Bravo. Climb and maintain flight level 240.
Alright, going up to 240.
Climb and maintain flight level 240. Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo.
Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo. Turn left heading 310. Resume on navigation.
Turn left heading 310. Resume on navigation. Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo.
Alright, now it looks like they're going to get us lined up with our flight path here, taking us on up to 24,000 feet, flight level 240. Doing about, trying to do about 240 knots on the climb out here. Alright, we'll go to standard pressure, turn our landing and taxi lights off, get the strobe lights on. Alright. They should take us on up to 25,000 feet once we reach 24. It's kind of like a, think of it as a stair stepper. You know, that workout machine that nobody ever wants to do? It's kind of like that. Do a quick flow of the instruments here. Fuel flow's looking pretty standard given our current configuration. In fact, we need to take it on up a little bit to condition/climb status. Just cruising along, approaching 24,000 feet. Quite a few clouds in the area. Hopefully we're above those clouds right out in front of us.
Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo. Climb and maintain flight level 250.
Roger that.
Climb and maintain flight level 250. Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo.
We're just going to go up 1,000 feet per minute here to get to 25,000 feet, flight level 250. And it'll be a nice subtle climb on the way up. What this will allow me to do, since it's such a shallow climb rate, hopefully that beeping isn't too loud. I really hope I've got my sound settings adjusted properly now after many test flights. Then again, it was a different jet. These jet engines in particular sound a little quieter than the last ones, so I'm hoping it's still, I'm hoping everything's proper because I'm uploading these videos regardless. I'm going to let the aircraft increase its speed to, what sounds good? 310, 320 maybe? see what max cruise gives us. Alright, double check the instruments here. Landing gear up, all three indicating. Flaps are up and indicating. Speed brakes closed. Fuel. We've got plenty of fuel on board. Almost 4,000 pounds. Check the flight plan here. Everything's looking all right in the flight plan. Looks like we got an 18-knot direct
Embraer Alpha
headwind.
Mike Bravo. Contact Seattle Center at 125.1.
Alright, Seattle Center we go.
Point 125.1. Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo. Seattle Center, Embraer Papa Alpha Mike Bravo. With you, flight level 250. Embraer Papa Alpha Mike Bravo. Seattle Center, roger.
Alright, we got cruise power set. We're at cruise altitude. Not too scenic on this flight, being how we got a bunch of clouds below us. We can see some mountains kind of popping out over there a little bit. Oh, the joys of aviation. Even on a flight sim, it can make for some pretty spectacular moments. While we're on the subject of flight sim, let's go over some of the add-ons we may or may not have seen coming up here. The add-ons we're using for this particular flight today, we'll talk about scenery first. We're using all the Orbx that I can afford, so to speak. We've got Orbx Global Base Pack, Orbx OpenLC North America, and Orbx Global Vector for this flight. We are, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, using Carenado's Phenom 300. Private jet, business jet situation. With that, we've got the clouds you're seeing outside are brought to us by Rex for Texture Direct with soft clouds. The real-world weather we are using currently is brought to us by ActiveSky 2016 for prepared 3D version 4. I think that covers all of the add-ons for this flight. I don't have any airport scenery for any of the airports we're going to. Although some of the default airports can kind of get on your nerves, especially if you plan a flight that's, I don't know, to a semi-decently large airport. and you get there and come to find out there's just like no taxiways at all. It's just a runway. So that could be upsetting at times. I'm hoping this airport's not like that. I did not test this flight before recording it, but yeah. Got a lot of screen tearing going on here. My goodness. I can fix that really fast by going into graphics, turning VSync on. Yes. Thank you. Ha! Just like that, they disappear. Okay. Got a cloud layer above us there, and some clouds below us. That's pretty nifty. Alright guys, this will conclude part 1. I hope to see you for part 2, which will be the descent and landing, and maybe a little bit of cruise. So, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Oh.
Contact Vancouver Center on 125.95. Going to 125.95. Embraer Alpha Mike Bravo.
Back to what I was saying, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. Helps motivate me to create new content as well. And stay tuned for part 2.